Hello, welcome to the LAMP lecture series featuring the Five-Shu points, part 6. This is brought to you by LAMP AcuWellness Foundation, Inc. The Jing-Well points. The points at which the Qi emanates are known as the Jing-Well points. The Jing-Well points, Jing means well, are the first or last points of their respective channels. With the exception of Yongquan, kidney 1, all are located on the tips of the fingers or toes. According to the classical sources, the Jing-Well points are indicated for fullness below the heart, diseases of the Zan. The Jing-Well points are where the nutritive protective aspect from the 12-channel circuit first begins its transformation to channel Qi. As previously noted, the nutritive circuit in the 12 channels is the yin substance to the yang function of channel Qi. The well points are therefore regarded as the place where the yin and yang first meet. Thus, the well points are thought to represent the inception of Qi transformation by the organs. At these initial points in the growth of the channels, the volume of channel Qi is smallest and the rate of movement slowest. The nature of channel Qi at the well points is described as seeping and dripping like a spring from the side of a mountain. The flow is not continuous like a stream, but is characterized by gradual accumulation. Well points are used for clearing heat, restoring consciousness, and rescuing collapse. With the exception of Yin, gallbladder 44, Yin, bladder 67, and Quanchong, Sanjiao 1, all the Jing-Well points are classically indicated for disorders such as coma, fainting, and collapse. Indeed, all the 12 Jing-Well points in combination may be pricked and bled for collapse from windstroke or high fever. These actions reflect a particularly dynamic action on the Qi. Jing-Well points treat the uppermost reaches of the channels. The Jing-Well points situated at the extreme end of the channels are in the main powerful points to clear heat and fullness from the uppermost reaches of their respective channel, particularly in acute disorders. For example, Shaoshang, lung 11, for acute sore throat, throat painful obstruction, and mumps. Sangyang, Li1, for throat painful obstruction, deafness, tinnitus, and toothache. Li Tui, stomach 45, for swelling of the face, toothache, lockjaw, throat painful obstruction, deviation of the mouth, nosebleed, and yellow nasal discharge. Sao Chung, heart 9, for pain at the root of the tongue, swollen tongue, throat painful obstruction, heat in the mouth, pain and redness of the eyes. Sao Tzu, SI1, for headache, dizziness, red eyes, nosebleed, deafness, tinnitus, throat, painful obstruction, curled tongue, stiff tongue, heat in the mouth, erosion of the mouth, mouth ulcers, and drooling. Zhi-Yin, bladder 67, for vertex headache, occipital headache, nasal congestion, nosebleed, eye pain, pain of the inner canthus, deafness, and tinnitus. Yongquan, kidney 1, for dizziness, vertex headache, throat painful obstruction, throat pain with inability to swallow, loss of voice, dry tongue, and nosebleed. Chung Chung, pericardium 9, for pain at the root of the tongue, stiffness of the tongue, and inability to speak. Quan Chong, Sanjiao 1, for tinnitus, deafness, earache, stiff tongue, pain at the root of the tongue, dryness of the mouth, dry lips, bitter taste in the mouth, headache, redness of the eyes, throat, painful obstruction, and pain of the submandibular region. Su Kiao Yin, gallbladder 44, for headache, stabbing pain of the head, dizziness, sudden deafness, tinnitus, redness, swelling and pain of the eyes, throat painful obstruction, stiffness of the tongue with inability to speak, and curled tongue with dry mouth. Liver 1, for bitter taste in the mouth and ceaseless nosebleed. These indications demonstrate clearly the principle that the most distal points on any channel are the strongest to clear excess and heat from the opposite end of the channel. It should be stressed that treating the channel in this context does not mean that these are important points for stiffness, pain, and discomfort along the course of the channel as a whole, and thus the Jing-Well points are not generally indicated for painful obstruction, atrophy disorder, or traumatic injury. A careful examination of the indications of the Jing-Well points, however, clearly contradicts the statement in the spiritual pivot that the Jing-Well points treat disorders of the Zang. Jing-Well points treat fullness below the heart. The term below the heart normally refers to the apex of the epigastrium. Examination of the indications of the Jing-Well points, however, show that many specifically treat stagnation and fullness throughout the chest region. This application does reflect Liao Runhong's suggestion that they treat liver pathogen. In other words, liver qi stagnation. For example, Sao Sang, lung 11, for agitation of the heart with cough and dyspnea, fullness of the heart with sweating, and fullness below the heart. Song Yang, Li1, for qi fullness of the chest, radiating to the lateral costal region, dyspnea, and cough. Stomach 45, for fullness and distension of the chest and abdomen. Yin Pai, spleen 1, for heat in the chest, fullness of the chest, dyspnea, and sighing. Sao Chung, heart 9, for heart pain and pain of the chest and lateral costal region. Sao Tzu, SI1, for cold sensation below the heart, agitation with heart pain, oppression and pain of the chest, and pain of the lateral costal region. Tzu Yun, bladder 67, for pain of the lateral costal region and chest and agitation of the heart. Yongquan, kidney 1, for heart pain, cough, and dyspnea. Zong Tsung, pericardium 9, for heart pain, agitation of the heart, and oppression of the heart with absence of sweating. Quan Chong, Sanjiao 1, for congested heat of the upper jaw, oppression of the heart with absence of sweating and heart pain. Su Kia Yin, gallbladder 44, for pain of the lateral costal region with cough and inability to catch the breath. Liver 1, or sudden heart pain. Jing-Well points treat disorders of the spirit. The Jing-Well points, in the main, share a common ability to regulate disorders of the spirit. For example, Salshan, lung 11, stomach 45, Yin Pai, spleen 1, Sal Chung, heart 9, Sal Tzu, SI 1, Yongquan, kidney 1, and liver 1 are all indicated for various kinds of mania. And stomach 45, Yin Pai, spleen 1, Zukya Yin, gallbladder 44, and liver 1 for various disorders of sleep such as insomnia, nightmares, and somnolence. When using the well points to treat excess, at least 8 to 12 drops of blood should be drawn from the point with a lancet needle to truly shake out the channel. In severe cases, as much as 40 drops of blood may be drawn. When drawing more drops of blood, the technique involves squeezing the area around the point, then quickly removing small drops of blood with a few cotton balls while counting. The goal is not necessarily to remove a large volume of blood from the point, but to generate a very small trickle that is counted off by the practitioner. When bleeding to drain excess, it is important that the color of blood drawn turn from dark to light. When the drops become pale or even clear, enough blood has been drawn. On the other hand, when the well points are used to treat obstructions and clumps, one is more likely to use moxa or low stimulation needle techniques. Often, needles can create gentle movement in the channel, in contrast to the strong draining achieved by bleeding. Sometimes a similar effect can be achieved by bleeding only 4 to 5 drops of blood from the point. Bleeding in this manner may be thought of as a neutral, as opposed to tonifying or draining technique to create movement. Also, because obstructions and clumps are not often rooted in excess or heat, the blood will generally be pale or even clear. This is in contrast to the bright red blood seen in presentations of more excess, or the dark blood seen in cases of more severe blood stagnation. In summary, the use of well points described in the classic of difficulties for treating fullness below the heart should be viewed as an example of a pattern type, rather than as an exclusive indication. In other words, fullness and tightness in the epigastrium is just one manifestation of the types of channel excess that can be eliminated by stimulating the well points. But, as explained, the points can also be quite effective in treating conditions that don't present with clear symptoms of excess. The actual symptom presentation will obviously vary depending on which of the channels is involved. Thank you very much for your attention, and we hope to see you on our next video.